Good day, everyone. So we will have our new block 2, lesson 1 in our math 6. So we need cloth of length 14 over 5 meter to make a dress. If 3/5 meter cloth is used for the top, what length is needed for the skirt? So if you are a dressmaker, you have a cloth of 14 over 5 meter to make a dress. If the top will use 3/5 meter, then the remaining will be used for the skirt. So we will use subtraction. So 14 over 5 minus 3/5. So as you can see, or what observe on the denominator, it is the same. So if the fraction is the same or the denominator are the same, we'll just copy it and subtract our numerator. So 14 minus 3, that is, okay, correct. That is 11, and copy with our denominator, which is 5. So we can say that the length of cloth needed for the skirt is 11/5 meters. So what did we do? We copied the denominator because it is the same and subtract our numerator. So it is the same process of adding like fractions. So we have now, so today we will have now the topic of subtracting unlike fractions in our block 2. Subtracting unlike fractions. So this would be our aim for today. Students will be able to subtract unlike fractions. Again, students will be able to subtract unlike fractions. So I want you to copy this one to have our aim for today. So this would be your activity. Solve question A and B using a rectangular strip and write the answer in your notebook. For QC or question C and QD, find the least common denominator or LCD of the denominators of the two fractions. Then multiply the numerator and denominator of each fraction such that the denominator becomes equal to the LCD. Then subtract the like fractions formed. Simplify them if necessary. Okay, we have here the fractions. In letter A, we have 2/4 minus 2/5. B, we have 2/7 minus 2/3. Letter C, 25 over 31 minus 1/2. Letter D, 19 over 28 minus 16 over 56. So let's proceed with letter A. In letter A, we have 2/4 minus 2/5. So in letter A, we will use rectangular strips. So we have here in 2/5, in a rectangular strip, we cutted it in 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the shaded part is 2. In 2/5, we will create also a rectangular strip with 5 cutted parts and 2 shaded parts. Now to perform the subtraction concept of unlike fractions, what is the denominator of our 2/5? That is a 5. So we will cut the 2/4 into 5 strips. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the other 2/5 will be cutted into 4 parts because the denominator is 4. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if we will count the shaded part, it's now 10 over 20 and 8 over 20. So where did we got 20? It is now the total or the total number of strip now. They have the same denominator, so we'll now perform subtraction. Because 10 over 20, we will subtract 8 parts of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll cross it out. And the remaining is 2. So the answer is 2 over 20. Is it the final answer? Not yet. So they have a common factors. So 2 and 20 are common with 2. So 2 divided by 2, that is 1. 20 divided by 2, that is 10. So the final answer is 1/10. Let's have letter B. We have 5/7 minus 2/3. So we will perform again the rectangular strip. So we'll have 7 parts, cutted parts, then 5 shaded rectangular strip. And the 2/3, we cutted it by 3 parts because of the denominator 3. And the other one, we have 3 divided part because it's 2/3. The 2 is a shaded part, and we will cut it by 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So if we will count them all, the total of the strips now is 21. And the shaded part is 15. So we have 15 over 21. And the other one, if we will count the shaded part green, we'll have 14 over the total rectangular strip now is also 21. So the new fraction will be 15 over 21 and 14 over 21. So we will now subtract. For 15 minus 14, that is 1, and copy your denominator. We have 1 over 21. So this is our simplified answer in letter B. So let's have in letter C. We have 25 over 31 minus 1/2. As you observe in our denominator, 31 and 2 are prime numbers. When you come up with the prime numbers, you will directly multiply 31 times 2 will got 26. So our LCD is 26. 26 divided by 31, we got 2, so we will multiply it by 25. So we got 25 minus, or times 2 over 26 minus, copy your denominator, 62. So 62 divided by 2, that is 31. So 1 times 31 over 62. So now we will perform 25 times 2, we got 50 over 26 minus 1 times 31, that is 31 over 26. So we will now perform subtraction because our denominator are now the same. So 50 minus 31, that is 19 over 62. So this would be our final answer. So in letter D, as you can see, if you will multiply 28, you will got 56. So we will multiply our numerator and denominator by 2 to make our denominator the same. So equals 19 times 2, that is 38. 28 times 2, that is 56, minus, copy our second fraction, 16 over 56 is equal to 38 38 minus 16 is equal to 22. 56 are the same as denominators, so we'll just copy it to get the answer, 22 over 56. Because this is not yet our simplified answer, we need to divide it by 2 because it's their common factor. So 22 divided by 2, that is 11. 56 divided by 2, that is 28. So any other common factors? No. So the answer would be in letter D would become 11 over 28. So how can we subtract unlike fraction? So always remember to subtract fractions with unlike denominators. We first convert the fraction by finding the least common denominator, or LCD. We multiply and divide both the fractions by a number such that their denominators become equal to their LCD, thus turning them into like fractions. Then we subtract with the like fractions and simplify to get the final answer. Do not forget to simplify if it is needed. Okay, so we have the higher order thinking skill. How can you subtract 13 minus 2/5? That 13 is a whole number, right? So as you remember in your fifth year, or when you are fifth grader, a whole number turning into a fraction, the denominator is always, okay, very good, always 1. So the fraction becomes 13 over 1 minus 2/5. So as you observe, 1 is a special number and 5 is a prime factor. So 1 times 5, the denominator or the LCD will become 5. So if we will perform this one, 5 divided by 1, that is 5, and we will multiply to our numerator, 13 times 5, minus 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so we'll multiply it by 2. So 2 times 1. Now we will perform 13 times 5, that is 65, minus 2 times 1, that is 2 over 5, or 2/5. Now we will subtract it. 65 minus 2, that is 63, over, copy our denominator, 5. So the answer would be 63 over 5. So as you observe with the answer is improper fraction. So we need to simplify it by simply dividing it. So 63 divided by 5. Okay, so we'll perform in a manual way. 6 divided by 5, that is 1. 1 times 5, it's a 5. So we need to subtract 6 minus 5, that is 1. So 5 divided by 5 cannot be, so we need to bring down 3. So 13 divided by 5, that is 2. 2 divided by 5, it's 10. So we need to subtract. So the answer is 3. So always remember, your 12 is a whole number. Your 3 is your numerator. Your 5 is your denominator. So what would be our final answer? That is 12 and 3/5. So now that you know how to answer or subtract and like fractions, I want you to answer your workbook in page 10. Seat work number 1, subtracting and like fraction. So in number 1, you need to subtract because they are the same denominator. We just copy the denominator, subtract your numerator. In 2, A and B, you need to use the rectangular strip. In C and D, you need to perform it. And number 3, the whole number turns into fraction over 1. So after answering it, do not forget your assignment and block 2 lesson 1 answer practice questions 1 to 3 from the Excel book. So that would be all for today. God bless.